And here we are against Reading at Elland Road in the Championship. And you've heard about a game of two halves? Well, how about a highlight package of two halves? As Reading have an early effort, 15 minutes on the clock pretty much. Then we jump to 41 minutes and 40 seconds-ish, because basically Reading just sat behind the ball and wouldn't do anything. Here was a bit of a weird one. I did have more footage, but I've had to edit this episode quite heavily in places. This was edited differently before, but I just ran out of room, so I had to cut a look at that challenge, which was odd. I think it's a penalty, but there's Reading breaking down the pitch 50 odd minutes and having another shot. Gioza apparently has given away a free kick for this challenge, which you'll see shortly. There, a little shoulder barge, was nothing on the header into my player when they cleared the ball in the penalty area and a clear goal scoring opportunity. Nothing on that, but PES cheating again, because Reading sat behind the ball and I could have put my cup down, put my pad down, wandered out of the room and made a cup of tea. Do you know what I mean? So it was very, and this is typical. You know, we had a lot of pressure, a lot of pressure, because obviously they just sat there doing absolutely nothing, but they were extremely tenacious. So this was typical of our attacks. Reading just getting bodies in the way. Obviously my moaning about a penalty that never was given because they had the cheating on their side in the tackles. It was horrendous to play. Absolutely horrendous. We had the ball for long, protracted sessions. Well, you can see from this, and obviously shots with deflections, and they were just, just swarming round us, getting the ball off us, and stuff like that. Here we're breaking, and a rare break. I also had to cut footage out where they hoofed the ball down the pitch and didn't even bother chasing after it. They just left it and stayed. So the ball was in my half and I was looking at a screen with my players and the ball, and then they weren't even there. We get a free kick for this as Jalal is fouled, apparently. Go figure. We get subs on and Vaca scores an absolute beauty. I think I mentioned in a few episodes before that it'd take a while to settle in the team, and still he is going to take a while to settle in the team. But he scored a beauty of a free kick, because as I said, he would get good at free kicks, but I mean, they're obviously better players, some ridiculously talented ones at free kicks, but he's not too shabby, and he's showing it there. And then we have a nice little bit of play, and that is just wide. Some of our play, when we actually could, was quite nice. And then I have to make a substitution. Vaca has to come off, and I decide to put Stark on because Arcas must have been unavailable for this game due to arrows, the notorious PES arrow downs. So two central midfielders going forward, two attacking midfielders, and defensively three defensive midfielders. So it's kind of it just takes that attacking presence in the midfield going in, transferring into support striker. But Reading, their play and their players speeded up and obviously got stronger as per how PES plays. They do nothing for 65 minutes pretty much, and then all of a sudden PES runs that routine, that programmed loop of, and they're attacking now, and they're faster and they're stronger. So the ball kept coming back to us because they kept winning the ball. So goal kicks out and it just come back with a shot at the end of it. Goal kick out, come back with a shot at the end of it, which is what you're seeing here. This is how they played. The spaced out, I've talked about that before, they space out and it's very difficult to chase the ball down and stuff. My left back's out of position. There they get a shot. Tiepo with a good save, and we manage to hack it away. And then Rivera gets on the end of it, and this is how the game was at this point. It was very end to end, but obviously our striker didn't connect, and then they get the ball, and then it comes back to us. And I'm sitting there with my pad in my hand playing this, thinking, but you know, they were hoofing the ball down the pitch. I'm not even bothering to chase it. So the ball and my players were on the television screen, and they were still camped in their half. Here they get a shot. But that's PES, isn't it? After 65 minutes, you know, magically they want to know. For the rest of the 65 minutes, you can put your pad down and do what you want. And here Reading come again. This is their most productive shot count of the entire game. Because that's how Kalami programmed it, you know, to be like that. Anyway, there you can see the stats. And Reading, in the end, after doing absolutely, totally and utterly naff all, but camp around their area, had 8 shots in the end. So there are the results on match day 29. We win courtesy of a smart Vaca free kick. And then we get some news about Goyos, as well as scouting news, that somebody has bid for Goyos. And we are going to accept this deal because obviously I want to bring in my own players so that we can challenge for promotion and we can, you know, get a good grounding in the Premier League and be competitive. Goyos is a decent striker, but I think I showed with my playthrough with Ridge County, using the defaults, that Goyos has a limit. And he's not a Premier League striker. Good in the Championship, but not a Premier League striker. So we're playing top of the table Norwich while I'm waffling on. And as you can see, we score a goal, and it's that man Vaca again, getting in there with a nice header from Larsson's cross, which I didn't use a circle cross. I used L and triangle. So a lofted through ball I used, and Vaca got on the end of that and put it into the net smartly with his head. So a smart free kick and a smart header. And then a lovely ball in to Pavlidis, who took that one and then with his next touch put it in the net. So one touch there to set it up, and then brings his right foot up and dispatches it into the net for a 2-0 lead to Leeds United away at the champions Norwich City. And when I said a highlight package of 2 halves, so the Reading game was a typical 65-minute then Reading 1-0 game, and the Norwich game was just a different beast entirely. This is you'll see it anyway, but at the moment it just seemed so easy to score those 2 goals. And I was worried because I was thinking, well, Norwich are top. They're, you know, in decent form. They should be good. Tiepo with a great save there. Absolute great save. One-handed. That was struck with absolute voltage on that. He volleyed that, didn't he? You know, very, very good strike on that one. And Tiepo did really well. And then Norwich kind of give us space to play. And that's kind of what I found is it was a bit odd. So we put a ball in, Pavlidis gets on the end of it and heads it over the bar. Larsson again on that far side. Pavlidis winning the battle in the air with the defender, but the defender doing enough to put Pavlidis in an awkward position for the header there. And then Norwich get caught in defence. Ball across. Pavlidis takes it and sweeps it into the net. The defending there were gaps, weren't there? I mean, there, when you look at that, Pavlidis celebrates tucking that one away. Look at Pavlidis in that space. What are Norwich thinking? But so I was a bit confused with this game. It just seemed to be so easy. We were 3-0 up. I mean, I'm not going to complain, you know, top of the table Norwich. But you know, it's like I was where is this top of the table Norwich? And then they kicked off, and they said, yeah, here we are. And then Pookie took in the rebound, and I was like, okay, okay, this is going to be tough, because that piece of play there was very quick, and it's almost like it took Norwich to go 3-0 down to wake up. You know, we're supposed to be chasing promotion here. What are we doing? Come on. And it's like, uh-oh. But yeah, Pookie took that one away on the rebound. And then we get a free kick. Pavlidis is ganged up on, so they left him alone before, and Vaca dispatches a 27-yard free kick. Is it measured in metres? I think we've gone metric now, aren't we? That's old money yards, isn't it? So Vaca dispatches a 27-metre free kick, and that is pretty much postage stamp. Right in the corner. It's a beautiful free kick, Vaca, Mr. Vaca. He's been cleaning up with these free kicks, hasn't he? Hey, suck it up, Norwich. That'll give up now. But Norwich come forward, and we get a block on that to deflect that. We're into the second half now, as you can see with the little graphic transition, and we are continuing to attack with some nice build-up play, but there's not enough on that, and the keeper gets down and collects that quite comfortably, really. And then Norwich come forward. I bet they had a rocket from their manager in the second half, and whatever he said to them has worked, because they've scored. They broke down the pitch, and then we left the man alone. Stiperman, I think it is, isn't it, on the edge of the area. Is that how you pronounce his name? Stiperman. And left-footed, he sweeps it into the corner beyond the reach of Tiepo for Norwich 2, Leeds United 4. And then Norwich come forward again, and it's this second half I had to take the editing scissors to. So there was more in the second half. Obviously, trust me, it was quite an explosive second half, really. But I had to cut something out because of the amount of time that I have on the videos is only 15 minutes. That challenge was weird. I felt I should have had that ball, and in the end Pookie puts it into the net. It's 3-4. I did slow it down, and I did have a look at it on the replay, just like the questionable thing in the Reading game. There was more to it, a lot more to this, but I couldn't fit it all on. But anyway, ball across, and Pookie dispatches that for his second of the goal, and Norwich's third of the game. I get my substitutes on. Norwich also had an effort from a free kick, but it wasn't direct, and my keeper held that pretty comfortably, so I deemed this one more fitting to show, because that's a really good save from Lavera. And then Goyos chips them, and I'm thinking that's 5, and they hit the post. So it was quite the game. I had to take the editing scissors to it. I'm a bit gutted about that, but it was definitely a highlight package of 2 halves, and there you can see the shot count, pretty much stride for stride shot count, but Norwich had the possession as they bossed it largely. There are the results for match day 30. I'll have to get the table up next time. Take care.